Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm out on a walk today. I'm gonna enjoy nature and make the most of it. I want to share with you guys now a story that I now live my life by, and I think if you do, you can live in a more accepting, peaceful manner. And this story is about a wise Chinese farmer. And listen intently, and I hope that you enjoy it.
Once upon a time, there was a Chinese farmer who lost a horse, ran away. And all the neighbors came round that evening and said, "That's too bad." And he said, "Maybe." The next day the horse came back and brought 7 wild horses with it. And all the neighbors came around and said, "Why, that's great, isn't it?" And he said, "Maybe." The next day his son was attempting to tame one of these horses and was riding it and was thrown and broke his leg. And all the neighbors came round in the evening and said, "Well, that's too bad, isn't it?" And the farmer said, "Maybe." And the next day the conscription officers came around looking for people for the army, and they rejected his son because he had a broken leg. And all the neighbors came round at the evening and said, "Isn't that wonderful?" And he said, "Maybe."
It's a very short story, but one of great meaning. And Alan Watts said, "The whole process of nature is an integrated process of immense complexity, and it is really impossible whether anything that happens in it is good or bad, because you never know what will be the consequences of a misfortune, or you will never know what will be the consequences of good fortune." Everything in this universe that happens is not for us to judge, because it is all a great mystery, and in the action, in the way that events happen in life, we cannot tell the reason behind them, whether in which they will hold a good fortune for us or a bad fortune. But sometimes that's the process and the way in which things happen in our lives, but we should not get attached to them, because we don't know whether they are truly bad or whether they are truly good, and what the effect of events that happen to us now will impact our lives later on in the future. But take a minute, like I have, after I listened to this story about the Chinese farmer, of how it relates to you and what you take from this. And how I said the way I take it is to not mind what life throws at you. And if you can do that, and if you can live by that in your every day-to-day life, I think that is what inner freedom is to feel good no matter what happens in your life. Not necessarily to feel good, but to accept it, and how to let things go. As if something bad happens to you, you may not know whether it is truly bad, because it might impact your life in the future. Maybe that is destined to happen to you. It's hard to feel that way in the moment when it happens, but to try to is all that we can do. To stop resisting and controlling, and to accept what has happened. I think that it's important that we share our deepest thoughts and emotions with each other, as we don't do this enough in our society, as it is seen as weak. But I think it helps us to express ourselves and feel more connected to the world and each other. So events that happen throughout your life, small or big, are all part and parcel of life, and that's the way they are meant to fall into place. Life is a great mystery, as you don't know what each single event that happens in your life will leave you one day. It is all a puzzle that one day pieces together. Why I find this story so meaningful to me and captures me is because many times in my life I've been caught up in little events going on in my life. And for example that I have is the other day my car wouldn't start, and I was frustrated about it, and I was like, oh, this is bad what is happening. But maybe it wasn't bad. Maybe it was fate. Maybe it was how it was meant to be. Not looking at it as good or bad. It's just the way in which things fall in life. But if it did start, then who knows what could have happened. And I thought that was a bad fortune, but you never really. So it's just a little small example. The small events that we all get annoyed about and caught up in. We just need to accept them for how they are. And I feel if everyone done this across the world, we would have a much more peaceful, relaxed approach to life, just letting things fall where they may. And that way you don't get caught up in the small events of your life, because you never know what life holds for you, and things happen and that changes the course of your life forever. So I think that is a great philosophy for life, and you will relate to it in your own individual ways. I want to thank all of you, all of my subscribers, for your love and support. It means so much. Thank you.